Dipti will wait for a few more participants.
Ma'am, pardon me, I couldn't understand you.
Shall we wait for a few more participants? I said it's 12:03.
Okay.
Shall we begin, Dipti? Shall we begin? Ma'am, Usha ma'am, shall we begin?
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, Dipti, I'm just
Yes, ma'am.
let's begin the session. A very good day to all. So I welcome you all to the workshop 2 in this row of Women in Data Science workshop. So I welcome you all once again to the workshop of WiDS Datathon 2022. I'm sure we are all aware of our WiDS Datathon, Women in Data Science Datathon 2022. This is the fifth annual WiDS Datathon, which is organized by WiDS Worldwide Team, Stanford University, Harvard University, and WiDS Datathon Committee. Right? This year, WIDS is addressing an important way to mitigate the effects of climate change with a focus on energy efficiency. So I'm also very proud and happy to say that this is the third year for WIDS Hyderabad section, which is driven by Ms. Sulakshana, who is acting as the WIDS Hyderabad ambassador, and which is the very important thing is which is organized by via the Sri Vishnu Educational Society is the organizing partners. We are very happy and proud to say that we are Sri Vishnu Educational Society is organizing it, and in this row we had a workshop one sometime before, which was running through the challenge, right? So you students would have participated and you have taken a very good input on a previous workshop. So in this row today we have our workshop 2, which is driven by a very important and very prestigious person, Miss Usha Rengaraju. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm sure that students and participants will take a very good insight from your session today. And I'm also very glad to introduce about you to the audience. Um, so, audience, this is for you about Miss Usha Rangaraju. Ma'am is world's first woman double Kaggle grandmaster, and she is ranked as top 10 data scientist in India for the year 2020 by Analytics India magazine, ranked as top women data scientist by Analytics India magazine for the year 2021, and also ranked as top 150 AI leaders and influencers by 3AI magazine. She is also the adjunct faculty for online master programs in data science at IIT Madras and visiting faculty for master's program at Symbiosis Pune. Ma'am is also serving as editorial board member for international journals dealing with advanced study and research work. She is also part of many review committees of many prestigious conferences, including ODSC India 2019, PyCon India 2020 and 2021, and many more in the row. She also serves as advisory board member for research labs in educational institutions and multiple startups, She is an invited speaker at many corporates like Society Generale, IBM, eBay, Wells Fargo, EXL, SAP, and many more. She has also organized Neuro AI, which is India's first ever research symposium in the interface of neuroscience and data science. She has also organized the Neurodiversity India Summit, which is India's first ever conference in neurodiversity. Ma'am has spoken at various conferences like ODSC, PyCon India, and she has prepared the curriculum for BITS Pilani Masters in Data Science program, which is almost taken by 20,000 plus students, and also designed upgrades PGP program, which is almost consumed by 10,000 students. So we are really proud and we are fortunate to have you here today for the session, ma'am. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kayan, for introducing me and for the opportunity to take this session. It's my pleasure to be part of WiDS Hyderabad for the second time. This is the third workshop which I'm giving for WiDS Hyderabad. Last year I had given 2 workshops, and this year I'm giving. Last year, I think WiDS Hyderabad, one of the teammates made it to top 10. I think top 6th position, I think so. So hopefully this year also there'll be a lot of people from WiDS Hyderabad making it to top 10 or winning the competition. So with this, I'll share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So for the to make it easy for the audience, I have put all the materials in a single Word doc. If there is any links which I'll be sharing in the session, I'll be pasting it in this single Word doc, and so that you will have all the resources in a single place. And so this is the Word doc which I'm maintaining for WiDS Hyderabad. So you can go here. And to start this, we have a video, or you might have already been introduced to Kaggle and the baseline solution in the last session itself. But just in case, I have also shared this material with Sulakshana. And just in case if you have not received it, this is a video, YouTube video. If you go here, I would be describing what is Kaggle and how to get started with Kaggle. This is a 16-minute video. Every step I'll be walking through how to use a platform, how to use notebooks, how to use discussions, everything. Everything is recorded and it's available as a YouTube. Hope this, just in case if you're using Kaggle for the first time and you're joining this session for the first time, then you can watch this video to get familiarize yourself with the platform. Last week itself, they would have taught you how to solve the problem end to end. Just in case if you have missed the last session and you're joining the session for the first time, then I have a solution ready for you. This is the notebook. The first link is the notebook. So if you go to this notebook, I would have solved the solution end to end. This is a baseline solution. I would have solved it end to end. And this is available as a notebook, a public notebook. You can check this out. And if you feel video tutorial is better for you, and if you feel, going through the notebook on your own is difficult, then I have made another video for you, which you can actually go through. I would have covered how I would have walked through the end-to-end solution in this video, which you can walk through. And finally, I would have written 2 things. If you're using deep learning, you can solve this problem using deep learning also. Just in case if you are using deep learning and if you want to know the basics of TensorFlow, I have made one notebook as well. And I've made another more of a research-oriented notebook as well. So these are some of the resources which we will be using it today. And one more thing which Sulakshana particularly asked me to cover was, she asked me to cover how to make submissions to the notebook. So I'll get started with that, how to make submissions to the notebooks. You can go through this notebook. This particular notebook, which is variable solution networks, will also have some EDA. So This is a notebook which I had written yesterday. So you'll have some EDA as well. So how to make submissions to the thing. So you can choose my first notebook. This is LGBM WNB starter. This is a link here. Open this notebook, the first notebook. I have highlighted in red color. Open that notebook. Once you open that notebook, go to the data tab. All of you open this notebook?
Participants, you can follow the instruction, and you can raise your questions if you have any doubts.
Yeah.
You can raise your hand. I will allow you to speak as the session proceeds.
So you have to go to the notebook. The notebook is highlighted in red color here. I'm showing you how to make submissions to Kaggle. Sulakshana asked me to cover. This is a very important thing because even if you prepare the solution, you should know how to submit it in Kaggle.
Yes.
And go to the data tab and you will have something called submissions.csv. You will have an option to download. This is my notebook, so I already have a direct option to download, submit, but you will have one download icon. The notebook link, which is highlighted in red color, go to that notebook. Second step, there is a data tab. There are 4 tabs, right? 5 tabs, right? Notebook, data, logs, comments, settings. Click on the data tab. So the data tab in this side, if you see, you have something data sources, you have output. Under that, you have many things like VAT, and all that. You have also submission.csv file. You have 5 tabs in the top. In that, you click on data tab, and in data tab, you have input, output. In output, you have something called submission.csv file. Click on the submission.csv file, download it. The download icon is here. So download the submission.csv file. I'm clicking on the submission CSV file. There is a download icon here. Download it. I'll wait for like 20 seconds because some of you might be like slow and picking up and things like that. So click on the download icon. And before we get started, just in case if there is anybody who's attending for the first time and who doesn't even have Kaggle account, you can go to www.kaggle.com. You can go to www.kaggle.com. You can click on sign in and you can register, and you can register with your Gmail. So go to www.kaggle.com. You will have an option for registering. If you go to www.kaggle.com, you will have an option for registering, and you can register with Google, which means if you have a Gmail ID, you can create a Kaggle account in 1 minute. So just in case if somebody did not attend the first session, you're joining for the first time, go to www.kaggle.com. And once you go there, you will have an option here, sign in, register, click on register. You can, if you have a Gmail ID, then register with Google. So this is how you create a Kaggle.com account. And you can also follow me on Kaggle, which is my profile. So you have some option to follow user here. So I'm putting my profile in the chat window. You can go to my profile and you can click a follow. Follow user option is there. So once you follow, all the notebooks which I write will be like coming as your feed. When you click on Kaggle, it will come as a feed. All the notebooks discussions which I create will come as a feed to you. So go to the link which I shared in the chat window and click on follow user. So this is how you create a Kaggle. Once you create a Kaggle account, the second option solution, if you go, you will have several tabs: notebook, data, logs, comment, settings. Click on data. There is a submit icon here. Click when you download it, the submission CSV file will be downloaded. Now I'm going to the WiDS Datathon page. My submissions. So here in my submissions, you have an option called submit prediction. Click on that button. So when you go to WiDS Datathon submissions, I'll paste it here. WiDS Datathon submissions option is there, right? I've pasted the link in the document also. I'll put it in the chat also. So if you go to the WiDS Datathon submissions, you will have an option called submit predictions. Click on submit prediction. Once you click on submit prediction, if you go to the WiDS Datathon submissions, this link which I shared here, you should first join the competition. Once you join the competition, you will have an option called submit prediction. The CSV file which you downloaded now, go to the downloads option wherever you downloaded, just click on the CSV file, upload it. Once you uploaded it, you just click on make submission. It will come as scoring your submission, and that's it. And your score will be visible. So click on submit prediction. Once you click on submit prediction, click on this, click the CSV file which you downloaded, upload it. Once it's uploaded, click on make submission. So the process is you have something called, first you should join the competition if you have not already joined. Then click on submit prediction, upload the CSV file and click on make submission. This is how you will make submissions to the WiDS Datathon. The file will be CSV file, which will be the output of the notebook which you write, and you will submit the CSV file like this. Any doubts so far? This is a very important topic. Any doubts in how to submit to WiDS Datathon? Anybody is having doubt? In case if you have not joined late, don't worry. I would have covered in this getting started with Kaggle also. I would have covered how to make submissions to the Datathon.
Audience, you can raise your hands if you want to have a query. I think they are very clear, ma'am.
Okay. So once you make a submission, so every day you will be working. So every day when you're working, see now in my team, I have so many people. So I have 4 members in my team. And so many, they're making submissions every day. So by the time the competition ends, right now itself, we are in the first place, we have made 99 submissions. So in another 2 months, we would have made 200 submissions, but you can only choose 2 submissions. Okay, you can only choose 2 submissions for the final score. And whichever is you think is the best, you can choose 2. You can't choose all the 200. You can only, here there will be an option. Now, whoever is the team leader, there will be an option to choose. Other people cannot choose. That is one thing. The second thing is here you have overview, data, code, discussion, leaderboard, rules, team. Click on the team. If you want to join team, then you should click on the team. You should click on the team tab. When I've already merged, the maximum people can be in the team is 4, and I've already merged with the team. So in this competition, I can't show demo. I'll take another competition and I'll show demo. For example, in this competition also, I have teammates. I have only 3 people. And if I want to invite another people to my join name, I have some tab called invite another team to merge with yours. That person should have accepted the rules of the competition and joined the competition. Only if he has accepted the rules, when you type his name, it will come as a drop down. You can select, and this request merge button will be enabled. When you click on it, merge request will be sent to that person. Once he accepts that person will be displayed as your team member. This is how you can form teams in Kaggle. So I'll repeat again, the first step to form team is all the participants who wants to form team should have joined the competition. That is the first step. The second thing is, once the person joins the competition, if you want to send merge request to that person's profile name, if you type, that person's profile name will come as a drop down, which you can choose it. And this request merge button will be enabled. When you click on it, merge request will be sent to that person. When that person opens his profile here, it will come. Somebody is trying to merge with you. And when he can decline or he can accept. If he accepts, then that person will be listed as your teammate. This is how you'll form teams. Somebody is raising your hand. Any doubts? Who's the person who's raising the hand?
I'm just checking. I think they have dropped down.
Okay. So this is how you will form teams. Hope these are two questions which, in addition to what we're going to cover in today's session with Sulakshana, had asked to cover. So how to form teams, which is like you type the team. That was first thing, the person should have joined the competition. If the person has joined the competition, type the person's name. This request merge button will be enabled to blue color. And when you click it, merge request will be sent to that person. When that person opens his profile, at the bottom here, he will get an option saying somebody is trying to merge with you. And he can either accept that request or decline it. If he accepts, then that person will be listed as the member. So currently I am the team leader for this competition. So other people are members. So only I will be able to choose the final 2 submissions. So only leader has permissions to do it in the team. Hope how to join the competitions, how to form teams, and how to make submissions is clear. And if at all it's not clear, it's already covered in this YouTube video, which you can watch and later understand it. So now let's get started with the exploratory data analysis. So what kind of data set it is? So if you see the data set, you can choose this document, which is the baseline solution. So WiDS data set has got a lot of features, which is weather related features you have, and you also have features which is related to building characteristics. So if you see building characteristics, the features are which year the building was built, what kind of building, is it as a residential building or is it a commercial building, what is the Energy Star rating for the building, and which state it is in, and which year it was built, what is the facility type. These are all building related characteristics. And elevation is also how much in elevation the building is located. These are building related characteristics. In addition to building related characteristics, you also have certain weather related characteristics. See, if you go through a lot of research paper, and what it will be mentioned is the maximum temperature and minimum temperature is very important criteria. So if you have very, very hot temperature, then you are more likely to use AC in your house, which if you use AC, it will increase electricity consumption, right? At the same time, if you have very low temperature, then you are likely to use heater, which will again increase electricity consumption. So maximum and minimum temperatures have a huge impact on electricity consumption. And also the days below. So when you say maximum electricity consumption has an impact, they're also giving you some derived feature, which will tell you how many days it was above a certain temperature as well. In addition to this, they also give, is there any snowfall? Is there any fog, wind related? So these are the features which we have for it. And also one more thing is, after building machine learning model, it was observed that generally based on research, the weather has a huge impact, but according to the machine learning models like LGBM and all that, weather actually has a less effect in the prediction of the model. The more importance is given the model, the features which are likely to contribute to the predictions are generally building related features only. You can go and check here. There is something called feature importance here. So if you check the feature importance, most of the top 6 features which contributes a lot to the prediction of the model is all building related features. Like, you have Energy Star rating, which year it was built, what type of facility it is, which state it was. The building related characteristics have the highest feature importance, which means they are more likely to contribute to the prediction of the model compared with the what about the weather related. But this is in contradiction with what is there in a lot of research papers. If you take machine learning for climate change, and if you browse through all the research papers in electricity consumption and AI, they would have mentioned that a lot of research has been done on weather impact of it. But actually, when you start building machine learning models, the weather related features have minimal impact on the prediction. This is one insight which I would like to share. And outside this insight, let's start with the exploratory data analysis. And exploratory data analysis. So any notebook, you can just, you will have an option when you go edit and edit my copy, you will have an option. And you can start edit and copy, there will be an option. You can click on it and you can start running it. So for me, since this is my notebook, it is showing as edit. But when someone else views my notebook, there will be an option edit and make a copy. When you click on it, the notebook will open. So this is what is the notebook. You have some theory cells, which is called markup, markdown, and you also have code cells, which is the codes, which is this, where all the code cells will have a play button. You can click on the play. So you can parallelly start executing also. So this particular statement is when you click on edit and my copy, this notebook screen will open like this. So you should always wait till this draft session starting. Is my screen clearly visible, or should I increase the zoom or something like that?
It's clear, ma'am. It's clear. You can see.
So this draft session starting, that orange color was there, that should become green. Only if it becomes green, you can start executing your session. Otherwise, your session notebook is not ready to run. Wait until this orange, when you initially open the notebook, that orange color draft session starting was there. No, it has to change into green. If it is not changing for a long time, the start button also you can click, or you can refresh the screen also, or you can click on the start session, just in case this is not becoming green for a long time. And there are code cells and markup cells. For code cells, you can start executing code cells by clicking on the cell, and you can click on play button and the cell will start executing. So the first statement is I'm just importing all the packages, Python packages, which I'll be using here. And then I'll be importing the data set, and I will also convert it into data frames using the pandas library. Pandas is a library for data manipulation. So it has a method called read_CSV, which I'll take the CSV file and convert it into. So pandas comes with a lot of inbuilt functions, which is very, very easy for exploring the data. So in this data, if you see, there are three particular, you can put train.head. You can see there are 75,000 rows in the training data, and there are around 9,000 rows in the test data. And you have 64 columns in the train. That is because it has 63 features and one target variable, which is site_UI, which denotes the electricity consumption. And there are 63 input features. So when I do train.head, so I get to see all the 64 features in this. The site_UI is a target variable, which means this is what I have to predict. So that's why the test data set doesn't have this variable, because that is what you're going to predict. And whether you predict it correctly or not, that will be revealed at the end of the competition, they'll tell you. So, but right now you're just making a prediction for this variable, and you're submitting the CSV file. A final evaluation will be done on when the competition ends. Right now, only certain amount of the data is evaluated, not complete test data. Complete test data evaluation will happen on the final day, and winners will be announced. So these are the fields. So if you see these fields, there are three fields which are categorical variables. So what are the categorical variables? State factor, building class, and facility type. And these are the three categorical variables. If you see state factor, there are around 11 states, but all the states are anonymized. And building class, there are two types of class. One is commercial and residential, and facility types are different. Why are these facility types important? Because based on the facility type, certain kind of facility types might require more electricity consumption, like warehouse and all this. Certain buildings may not require that kind of an electricity consumption and all that. So the first thing we do, so I'm just creating some variables and telling what are my categorical variables, what are my new outside these three categorical variables, all other variables are numerical here in this data set. The first step in any exploratory data analysis is you will first see if there are any missing data. So why missing data is very bad for your analysis is it will lead to incorrect model. And so it's very important you should handle that the real world data set. See, WiDS Datathon data set is clean to an extent. But in the real world, if you see the data sets, it's not as clean as WiDS Datathon data set. So it's very, very important that before you start any data science, machine learning frameworks, you should first sit and find out how much of data is missing in your data set. So I'm just written a small, I wrote a small code for visualizing the missing data through a heat map. You can also visualize it through heat map. So this rose color button indicates some of the fields are missing. You can also find out the field names here. So detection, max wind speed, detection. So these are some of the fields which are missing. And so the energy star rating also is some of the missing. So if I want to like print out in the form of table, so these are the fields: year build, energy stating, maximum wind speed, peak wind speed. These are some of the fields which has missing values. So it's very important to do certain feature pre-processing to do, handle these missing values. If you do not handle missing values in your data set, it can lead to incorrect prediction. So be very careful. You need to spend a lot of time because energy star rating and all has got highest feature importance. So you need to pay a lot of attention to, you need to pay a lot of attention for energy star rating and all that. So imputed. So I have a one particular column called missing value imputation. So mostly missing value imputation, you can either use mean or median missing value imputation. In addition to doing mean, median value imputation, there are several other techniques for doing imputations. And you can check out the other courses. To just keep it simple, I'm just doing a mean value imputation. And for the year built, I'm just putting it as 2022. But you can actually put it as 2021 or 2020, but just give some values. So this is where I've handled the missing value imputation. You can also build a KNN classifier to do the KNN regressor or k-nearest neighbors, or you can use certain algorithms to do missing value imputations as well. I've shown the basic process, but Analytics Vidya has got an article where they discuss all the techniques which can be used for missing value imputation in detail. Do go and check it out. The next thing which is very important is about if you should go through the descriptive statistics of the data set, so that if there are any outliers or if any particular feature has got any skewed distribution, then you can understand that using the descriptive statistics. The method used to do it is describe. You could then, the next process is you will have to find out if it is a balanced data or imbalanced data. So you can also check out the distribution of the target variables. If this is a regression problem, so we don't have to worry about the balanced or imbalanced data here. But generally, if you deal with tabular data classification problem, you may have to deal with balanced or imbalanced data set. So since this is a regression problem, we will not do that check. Instead, we will see the distribution of the target variable. Is it having a normal distribution, or is it left skewed or right skewed? So that is what here I have seen the distribution. Sometimes if it's very left skewed, the distribution, should we take any log transformations and all that? These are the things which you, for this data set, you don't have to take any log transformations. And next is you have to see the distributions of all features now. It can be like all the numerical features, and there are around 60 numerical features which you can see the distribution of numerical features. This will give you insight if you have to, do any kind of transformations for any of the features. So I'm just doing the transformations, and you can also check out if the distribution is different in test and train data. So this rose color here is for train data. The yellow is for train data, and rose color here is for test data. So I've just seen the distribution of all the numerical variables to ensure, if there are any abnormalities in the distribution, I can figure it out using this visualization. So these are visualizations for numerical variables. And similarly for categorical variables, so these are my category. I have 3 categorical variables, as I mentioned earlier. So for all my categorical variables, I can see the frequency distribution. So here, if you see clearly, state 6 has got highest number of observations here. And when you take the states, there are around 11 states, out of which only we have a lot of data for state 6. And if you see, we have a lot of data for residential in comparison with the commercial. And for facility types also, there is one uncharacterized one facility type that has the highest number of recording. So you also get the frequency distribution for categorical variables. There are 3 categorical variables for which you will get the frequency distribution. And post which it's about how to model and how to use. I'm using, I think last week itself, they would have covered how to build an end-to-end model and all that. Here there is a light GBM module which I'm using, and all this is mentioned in the video, which you can watch it here. Since this is exploratory data analysis, I'm just skipping the modeling part, but it is covered in the video tutorial which I have shared here. This is the official video tutorial for WiDS, so do check it out, how to do modeling and all that. So this is about, there are few data exploration techniques we have observed. We'll move on to the next notebook to see some more data visualization techniques. So if you see here, variable selection networks, there is one notebook. I'm going to color it as violet or some color I'll give. So it is in. So click on this variable selection networks. So this is a second notebook which we are going to go through. So all of you open this notebook.
Ma'am, there is a question. What is LGBM from Rohan?
Yeah. So LGBM is a light GBM architecture, which is that you have something called XGBoost, you have something called SVM, you have random forest. Light GBM is a machine learning model which is developed from Microsoft, and it is used for building. It is one of the tree-based models. It's used for creating a model. We saw the data exploration because the session is about exploratory data analysis, right? So once you explore the data, you will be creating some features. You will do certain pre-processing, like you will handle the missing data. Then if there are any categorical variables, you will be converting into numerical form, because the machine learning model cannot understand categorical variables. So you have to convert it in numerical form for it to consume. So you will do a lot of pre-processing here. One of them I already covered, which is if there are any missing values, it is very dangerous. You have to handle the missing values. There are so many techniques available. Analytics Vidya has collected all the techniques and put it into a blog. Handle the missing values. And the next technique is a label encoding. If there are categorical variables, then you have to convert it into numerical variables. So you have several label encoding techniques as well. Scikit-learn already has implementations for it. We are using Scikit-learn implementation label encoder to convert the categorical variables to numerical variables. That is what is done here. Once you do all this pre-processing, the next step is feature scaling. The reason why we do feature scaling is, see, for example, wind will have different scales. So you will be measuring, you will use different units of measurement for wind. You will use different units of measurement for measuring your floor area. For temperature, will have different units of measurement. Snowfall will have different. So all the features which you have will have different units of measurement. In order to bring them to a scale, you will have employ certain techniques called feature scaling. It can be either standardization or normalization. These are some of the techniques to bring your features to the same units of measurement or same scale. Again, scikit-learn has implementations for it. You just have to know the function name, call the function name, do fit, transform, pass your data frame. It will do the feature scaling. There's not much of code which you have to write from the scratch. Scikit-learn is a high-level API, so it's easy. The next thing is LightGBM. If you want to understand, here I have given some source. So click on the source. LightGBM is a machine learning model developed from Microsoft. It's called Light Gradient Boosting Machine. It is just a tree-based boosting framework, and it is known to give very good results. You also have some paper released, and you also have a lot of articles written about it. And you also have so you can go through that, and we are using that library to build a model. So this is what we are building a model. We are giving the parameters of the model and all, and we are building a model. After you building a model, you train it, and then you make predictions. So LightGBM is a machine learning model which is built by Microsoft. LightGBM is not the only model which you can use. You can use XGBoost, you can use random forest, you can use decision forest. There are many machine learning models which can be used for regression, and you can also use CAD boost, but LightGBM is just one such technique. Hope, Rohan, your question is answered, and if there is anybody who has questions, you can ask.
Yeah, kindly post your questions in QA link, or you can raise your hand. I'll allow you to speak. Ma'am, but the session is very crystal clear. The audience are really very fortunate to have this session. Yeah, we have a question. Any questions from the audience, or shall we proceed? I think you can proceed, ma'am.
Yeah. So here you have the second notebook here, which I've shared in the chat window as well. And here I have highlighted in violet color. So you can go to that notebook. So we already saw some basic analysis. Here you will have edit and copy option, which you can edit it and you can follow along with me.
There is a question from Keertana, but this question is already answered. Do we need to submit only CSV file or Kaggle notebook also?
So for this competition, it's a CSV based file. You can just submit CSV file alone. That's more than sufficient. You can submit a CSV file through Kaggle notebook as well. So that is what I have showed you a demo. So for example, if I'm submitting the solution of my own work, not downloading from somebody's work, you can either download your CSV file and then submit, but Kaggle has got a very well-built platform which gives you an option to, for example, I'm going to this competition, WiDS Datathon. I'll go to my code, my work, I have my work, and here this is an option. I'm clicking on LightGBM, the data tab. Click on submission. See, this is my notebook. I wrote the notebook. So to submit, there is an option. But if you open my notebook, the submit option will not be there. Okay, you have to manually down. If you are going to use, this is a public notebook, so you can use my solution. Anything which is public can be used. So you can download my CSV file without writing single line of a code. You can go and submit there. You would have already made your first submission. But otherwise, if you would, just like me, if you have written your own notebook, and then if you click on the data log, you will have an option called submissions.csv file. Then when you click the submit, it will give you an option to directly submit your notebook. So here your notebook name will be there, which version you're submitting, and the CSV file. Click on submit. This is also one option, or you can manually download the CS directly. You can use a Kaggle interface to submit, or manually download the CSV file and go and submit. Whatever works for you, you can do it.
Yeah, ma'am, thanks a lot. And two more questions from Rohan. Where can I find more information about different algorithms that I can use for regression like LGBM?
You have a lot of articles in Analytics Vidya, Analytics India magazine. If you just Google about it, the common regression algorithms, you will find a lot of articles which you can go through, and you can find Medium. You have a lot of articles. Or if you go to Skykit Learn, this is a high-level API where you will find a lot of implementations. The moment you go to Skykit, I'll share this link as well in the chat window. You have a lot of regression algorithms. So you have all the regression algorithms, linear algorithms, support vector machine, stochastic gradient descent. All the regression algorithms is put in a single page. This also I'll share it in the chat window. Analytics Vidya has got several articles to help you understand the regression algorithms. What are the commonly used regression algorithms? What are the commonly used classification algorithms? All this Analytics Vidya has got. So regression algorithms, analytics. So you have some 5 regression algorithms. You have many articles like this which you can go through. They would have listed all the regression algorithms which you can use. You just have to Google it. You will find these are very common solutions which you will find it in Google.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. He has another question, how to create a notebook linked to the competition data.
Yeah. So this is, if this is your Kaggle account, you will have something called competitions. In that you'll find the WiDS Datathon 2022, or you can just put WiDS Datathon 2022 in search bar. If you have not already joined, then that will pop up. Then you can click on it. First, join the competition. You have a code notebook, and in the code notebook, you can go and click on new notebook. All this I would have covered in the video getting started with Kaggle. If in case if you're not able to follow also, you can go home and watch this video. This is only 16-minute video. But once again, I'll tell you, this is the competition page. This competitions, when you click, you will be able to see it if you have already joined. But you have not joined, then type WiDS Datathon 2022 in the search bar. If somebody is new, for that person, I'm telling, type WiDS Datathon 2022 in the search bar. And once you search that, you will get this competition. You can first step go and join the competition. Then you have several tabs here: overview, data, code, discussion, leaderboard, rules, team. Click on the code tab. Under code tab, there are so many notebooks, public notebooks, which are there for you for reference. I myself have written 2 notebooks, and here there is an option called new notebook. All of you able to see this black color button called new notebook? So click on the new notebook. And you will have a default notebook name. Whatever meaningful, gives a meaningful name. Your cells are created. You can delete a cell by clicking the scissor icon. You can add code cells. You can add, if you want to write comments, and you can add markdown cells, code cells. I'll write some basic print statement. Print Usha. do a quick, you can either do a quick save or click run all and commit. Advanced settings, if you have to click always save the output, then save. That's it, your notebook will start running. This is how you should create a notebook and run a notebook.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Hope Rohan is clear now.
Yeah. So now I've shared this notebook, variable solution networks. If you click on it, click on the variable solution networks notebook. So the reason why I'm telling you is variable selection is a research paper implementation, because there is also phase 1 and phase 2. So I have implemented a partial implementation of a research paper, and but I am not going to talk about the research part. Research part is the second phase of the competition. For the first phase, I would have also done some additional exploratory data analysis here. In addition to the first notebook, I would have done some extra exploratory data analysis. So that is why I'm asking you to go through this notebook. I'll walk you through the additional exploratory data analysis. And if you are very much interested, also, this is a research paper implementation. So variable solution networks is a transformer-based implementation strategy. And I'll share the research paper towards the end, but this is the notebook. When you go through the notebook, similarly, this is the package implementation. I'm writing all the Python libraries which I'm going to use. And this is the band B. This you don't have to understand. So next is, so again here, the draft session is starting. It has to become green color. Only then the notebook was downloading. So now it is slowly becoming green. So these are the basic Python libraries. And then here I'm taking the CSV file, converting into pandas data frame. So based on my previous LGBM module, I found out only the building related characteristics are having a high importance. So I'm taking only building related characteristics for this research paper implementation. You can use all the features. For the sake of simplicity, I took building related features because that is what is giving more feature importance. Then you can explore the categorical variables. So for example, I can see the count plot of year factor. So there are 6 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the years are anonymous. And if you see year 6 has got the highest number of observations in data, and year 1, there is very few observations for year 1. You can also explore other categorical variables. Again, there are 11 states, all the states are anonymous, and state 6 has got highest number of observations, and other states have got very less only. Again, you can see how the observations are distributed for building class. Residential class has got more observations comparison with high commercial thing. Then you also have facility type. If you see the facility type, there are a lot of facility types, but there is one particular facility type which has got the highest number of observations, which is the multifamily or uncategorized. This has got the highest number of observations. Now we have seen categorical variables. You can also see the distribution of numerical features with regards to the target variable. So this is the numerical feature floor area, how it is correlating with this target variable, which is site UI. So this is how the floor AI versus site UI scatter plot looks like. You can similarly do this for the other numerical features as well. This is floor energy rating versus energy rating versus, this is what energy rating versus the target variable. Then you can check out the elevation versus the target variable. Then you can check out the building area. So you can see the through scatter plot, you can see how the variable correlates with the target variable. Is it having a positive correlation or is it having a negative correlation? So I did this for all the numerical features. I've just see the correlation with the target variable using a scatter plot. You can also use box plots to see if there are any outliers, and you can also see the correlation through box plot. But I want something numerical features instead of plots, then I can also use heat maps for seeing the correlation. So this is the correlation heat map, which is Seaborn by library, which is available. And so these are some of the additional visualization and data exploratory analysis in this notebook as well. So if you go here, there is a violet color notebook, which is variable selection networks. Open that. That is a notebook which I've been going through now. So this is what is variable selection networks. Click on this notebook just in case if you have not opened it once more, I'll share it in the chat window. Here, this is actually a research paper implementation, but in this notebook, I have some of the exploratory data analysis additional, in addition to first notebook, additional exploratory data analysis I would have covered here as well. So if you see the modeling part, I'm using TensorFlow. If you want to understand TensorFlow in detail, I have created another notebook to understand basics of deep learning for using TensorFlow. Here, I'm implementing a research paper, which is a transformer-based research paper. I'm implementing some technique called the GRU, and I'm also implementing, I think it is variable selection networks and GRU. This architecture was released in a research paper. So this particular part, the modeling part of this particular notebook may not be relevant that much now because it may be more relevant for the phase 2. But what is the takeaway from this notebook is the additional exploratory data analysis, which I've done in the notebook 2. So go through this notebook. I've highlighted in violet color. And if the remaining part is also some kind of TensorFlow code I've written, but if you're new to TensorFlow, I've written another tutorial for understanding TensorFlow as well. So this is a tutorial for understanding TensorFlow, but variable selection networks is what you will have additional EDA, and you will also have a research paper implementation. I'll share the research paper implementation now. So this is the paper. In this paper is what I implemented in that notebook. And this paper, they're introducing an architecture called GRU and variable selection networks. I implemented that paper. That's a research paper implementation. That will be more relevant for the phase 2 of the competition. But for this, that LGBM models like CAT boost and all that is sufficient. Phase 2, if you're writing your own research paper, then this is a sample research paper implementation for you. And if you do not understand TensorFlow, I've written a separate notebook for you. Now we'll open up for more questions if there are.
Yeah, audience, you can ask your queries. Please utilize the session.
So the research paper also I'll share in this document, the research paper implementation. So this is the research paper and the implementation is below that. Temporal fusion transformers for time series forecasting. In that, they would have introduced an architecture called variable selection networks. That is what I implemented in this notebook. So it's a more of a research area which is only relevant for the phase 2. For the phase 1, you can just use mostly the tree-based architectures and scikit-learn and all these since is giving great accuracy. Any questions on how to form teams, on how to form teams, how to improve your score, all these things. If you have any questions, then you can ask.
Audience, please raise your questions. Ma'am, there is a. Please explain how the students can use the GPUs in Kaggle. There is a limited time per day. So this is a question from Professor Chandrasekhar.
Sure. So if you see, the GPU has got only 30 hours of GPU and only TPU, you have 20 hours of TPU. And go to Kaggle notebook. Create, you will have an option to create new notebook. give any relevant name. You can delete the notebook cell using this. Here you have an option called accelerator. So here you can use GPU or you can use TPU. You can select whichever accelerator you want. If you choose GPU, then GPU will be used. If you want use TPU, there is a special code for TPU which you need to write. But if you're just using GPU, you don't have to write any special code. You can just select GPU, and only 30 hours per day is there. So you can use 30 hours. If you're not using GPU, then you put it to none, which means CPU will be used. This is how you have to use GPU. There is an option called accelerator. In that, there is an option 3. None is for CPU, GPU, TPU. TPU, you have to write some special code. For GPU, you don't have to write any special code. And if you're using TPU, TPU is more relevant when you're using some deep learning architectures and things like that. If you're using tree-based models and all, don't use TPUs. But just in case if you're using it and interested in using it and you want some sample notebook, because you have to write some additional code for TPU. And if you want some sample notebook, I have written one sample notebook, which I'll share. This is a sample notebook for TPU. For GPU, you just have to choose that GPU and you can start using it. But TPU, you need to write additional code. That is, there's some additional code you need to write. See, so some additional code you need to write.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. And there is a question, can we use R programming for this workshop?
Yes, you absolutely. You can use R programming for the final submission. Because only CSV file they are asking, right? If it's a code-based notebook, then maybe you are restricted to R and Python only. If it's most of the competitions in Kaggle are code-based, so that time you are restricted to R and Python. But this is a CSV-based competition. You can use MATLAB also. You can use anything like whatever additional data science package you want to use outside Julia also you can use. If you have your own setup for your local setup for Julia, you can do the solution there. You can do end-to-end implementation there. Final output, that CSV file, take and upload it to Kaggle. That's all. You can use any framework. You are not restricted to Python and R. You can absolutely use R. Kaggle supports R itself. But outside this also, you can use other framework. This is a CSV-based competition. So anything you can use, final output is CSV that you take and you upload it to your competition.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. That is a very good input for them. And Sandhya wanted to ask you a question. Yeah, Sandhya, you can talk now. Sandhya, you wanted to talk? Okay. Ma'am, there is one more question from Pranali. She's asking, is it recommended to start with a simple linear regression algorithm and then keep building on it? Or what is the approach for beginners?
That is you are absolutely right. As a beginner, get started with linear regression and slowly improvise on it. But generally, if you see regression models, the tree-based algorithms like CatBoost, LightGBM, I would highly recommend start with linear regression. And even if you take support vector machine, it has both classifier and regressor. You can use SVM regressor. Then you start using the tree-based algorithms. What are the tree-based algorithms? Famous ones, random forest. You can use XGBoost, CatBoost. Then you can use LightGBM. And these are some of the 5 architectures which I would recommend. Start with linear regression. Next, you try SVM regressor. Then you try random forest. Then you try XGBoost. Then try CatBoost. And then you try LightGBM. And these are the 6 architectures which I would recommend. By this time itself, you will get sufficient knowledge which works, which doesn't work. And you outside this, once you're very confident with 6, then you can go through a lot of research paper and you can do research paper implementation or other tree-based architecture. But basic, when you want to get a hold of the problem, you first start with the 6, then slowly implement research papers or go through other research, other frameworks and things like that. You can also use something called Tablet, which is deep learning architecture for tabular data. That also you can use. You can also use Transformer. I implemented this notebook, right? All of you open this notebook, variable selection thing. This is a deep learning architecture. This is not machine learning. I'm using deep learning here. Open this notebook. Once again, I'll share the notebook in the chat window. Open this notebook. If you scroll down, this is a deep learning based framework. So for solving this problem, you can also use deep learning. So I took a deep learning architecture, which is variable selection networks, and I implemented it. So this is a bit of advanced thing, but this also you can do. There is some architecture called TabNet, which you can implement as well. So this is a bit of advanced. If you already know deep learning, it will be easy. Otherwise, it's a bit of an advanced thing.
Yeah,
So this is a deep learning based architecture. So you don't have to restrict yourself with machine learning and tree based architecture. You can experiment with deep learning also. That is why intentionally I showed you this demo.
yeah, thank you. So Kirtana is asking how to improvise our models. She is asking that question.
So some of the techniques for model improvisation is you can do feature selection. So find out which features you can drop highly correlated features. You can there are certain feature selection techniques like backward elimination, forward elimination. You can also create, you read a lot of research paper, you can also create a lot of derived features. And feature engineering is the key to success in any tabular data platform. So there are several feature engineering techniques which you can experiment on. I have listed only few, but outside this, if you go to Analytics Vidya, they have got an extensive article covering all the features engineering techniques. You can try out few technique and see if your score is improving, and keep trying out all the techniques out there. But the basic technique which I told you, like you have you can based on research papers, you can create new features, or you can actually say drop the highly correlated features. Most of the algorithms like GPM and all have an attribute called feature importance. You can see that, and you can drop the less relevant features. Outside this, there is a technique called ensembling. That is now everyone will be developing at least some 6 to 7 models. Instead of just submitting one single model solution, you can combine the output of all the models using a technique called ensembling. And that will be more powerful than a single learner. Multiple learners coming together, that will be more powerful. So you can also use ensembling techniques. Again, there are several types of ensembling techniques out there. Analytics Vidya is once again a very good extensive article covering all the ensembling techniques. You can slowly go to that article, try one by one, and you can see if your score is improved. Generally, boosting ensembling based techniques are generally powerful, and generally they increase your scores. What is the number of submissions affect the final score? No. And every day you can make up to 15 submissions, and it doesn't matter. But finally, even if you have 200, 300 submissions made, you can choose only final 2 submissions for evaluation. Only those 2 submissions will be taken into account.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. Chandrasekhar sir, you can unmute and ask your question. I have given you the mute permission.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon, madam. This is Chandrasekhar Dagiri, Associate Professor from WiDS Hyderabad.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
It's really motivating to see you here, ma'am. In the distinct students were waiting for your session for a long time, and the last year also your notebooks were very, very useful for us when we cracked this WiDS 2020 Datathon. So in this regard, I would like to tell 1 or 2 points to the students. One is that we are not necessarily have to do the things in Python, as some people are pointing out. All you need to do is get the output in whichever way you do it, and you need to submit it. That's all. And ma'am, Usha madam, there is one a silly doubt from one of my teammate students. See, in this particular time series thing, our goal is to minimize the error, right?
Yes, sir. It is a regression problem. So you
Yes.
are going to minimize the error. Yes.
Yeah. So students had this question, sir, after getting some output, can't we, some people artificially, bring down the values and make that error, total overall error, come down so that, it would look as if they did a good job. How would the, judging panel in the leadership board be able to figure such things out?
See, if you do artificially, if you touch your CSV file and all, if you give some random, you can't artificially bring down the error, because your evaluation currently, you will, if you're artificially doing it, that is why, because Kaggle has been there for 10-11 years, right? They've seen all types of people. They've already seen very clever people for the last 10 years. And so they have also become very clever.
Yeah.
So if you see leaderboard is calculated with approximately 51% of the test data, which means now if you're updating your CSV file, you are based on this 51% of the data. If you're artificially changing it, there is remaining 51% of the data which you have not shown. So the artificial tuning will not work. It will backfire that time. So while they are exposing only 51% of the test data right now, the remaining data they are not able to, you can't see. It will be revealed in the private leaderboard. So this kind of artificial boosting will not help. It will backfire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the answer, students. So don't try out such things. The people who are in the top of the leadership board, they will be asked to show the code also. There you will get caught. So never attempt such things. I think it's been a very elaborate session, ma'am, and very, very useful.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any other questions from the participants? Thank you, ma'am. I think we don't have any open questions yet.
Sure, ma'am. So then we can wind up the session.
Ma'am, there is one question now. What if the rest of 49% data has more impact from whether feature compared to data given to us?
See, test data is used only for evaluation. So you are supposed to train your model in the training data. The training data is fully given to you. So you have to build a generalized model. The objective here is to build a generalized model which will generalize to unseen data. So any new data, that 49% is a new data. You have to build a generalized model which doesn't overfit and which generalizes well with unseen data. So you have to build a model in such that it's not overfitting. So training happens in train CSV file. The train CSV file is completely exposed to you. Using this, you shouldn't try to overfit your data. You should build as much as generalized data so that it fits well with, it makes a better prediction for unseen data.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So any other questions?
We are uploading only the CSV files. How is the private standing evaluated as we are not uploading the model we built?
Yeah,
See, the test data set, all that you don't get confused because Kaggle knows how to deal with it. What you need to do is use the test data, the CSV file gets generated, then submit it. How Kaggle is doing, don't worry about it. But for your extra information and knowledge, I'll tell you how Kaggle is doing it. So in the CSV data, there are 9,000 rows, right? Out of the 9,000 rows, it will take something, it will randomly sample and it will take some maybe for 51%. 51% of 9,000 rows, 9,000 around 10,000, 9,700 something, you will take it as 10,000. What is 51% of 10,000? 51% of 10,000 is something around 5,300 rows. So this 5,300 rows only, it will show you the output. It would compare your result with the 5,300 and it will show you the output. The remaining 49 thing, the output will be released. How it is, how your model perform will be released on. Now itself it has calculated. Kaggle knows how much you scored now itself, but they will not reveal it. They will finally open your leaderboard only on after the competition ends. So 51% of the data only they're showing you the output. So Kaggle team can see now itself what score you got, because while the model, it will do the complete evaluation, but it is not showing to you. Kaggle team already knows who is leading the private leaderboard. This is visible to Kaggle team. But the public leaderboard, it is only evaluating on 51% data, which is for 5,300 rows or something like that. Remaining 4,000 rows evaluation also is known to Kaggle, but it has hidden it. It will make this, make it public on the day the competition ends.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you're very clear to the audience how to do ethical work on Kaggle also. So if we don't have any other queries, I think we can close the session. What is the difference between private and public leaderboard? There is a question, one more question, ma'am. Is that okay if we extend this?
We'll extend, this can be the last question.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
So if we, public leaderboard is visible to you till the end of the competition. See, most of the competition, there is something called overfitting. That is, you're trying to fit your model, or learn too much from your training data, but it will not predict well to unseen data. So based on overfitting, a lot of people will be leading. Currently, I'm in the first place, but that again is could be overfitting, who knows? So because of overfitting, people will be in the leading top, but finally some shakeup will happen and somebody else will go to the top. So if you take my competition itself, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So if you go to this completed data.
Ma'am,
So
we are not seeing your screen.
So this is one of my competition, and this is the leaderboard. So this competition is over. So in the public leaderboard, this particular person was in the first place. Okay, but he has overfit the data. Finally, the result will come on the last day. That time, this person who was in the 880th place came to the first place. So Kaggle, you will have a lot of shakeups. In the public leaderboard, if you are in the first place, doesn't mean you are the winner. Finally, when they open the private leaderboard, only the real winner will be exposed. Because throughout the competition ends, till the final day, they'll be exposing only the public leaderboard. Public leaderboard is evaluated only on 51% of the data. The full evaluation happens in the complete 100% evaluation happens in the private leaderboard. That will be exposed only on the day final. Now itself Kaggle will know the result, but it will expose it only on the last day when the competition ends. So this person who was in the 880th place in the public leaderboard came to the first place and won the prize money. So it doesn't mean if you are in the public leaderboard first place, you are the first place winner. Kaggle, lot of shakeups happen.
This is really interesting, ma'am. Even last year, students had so many queries on same note. We were in the public leaderboard, but final day we were not there. Hope they are clear now. It's really interesting.
One more thing which I would like to warn you is don't have multiple accounts in Kaggle, because multiple accounts in Kaggle has algorithms to detect it. For more GPU power, I'll create multiple accounts, run it and all. They will detect it. And till the last day, they won't delete your account. Finally, when the result comes, after the result comes, also you will be able to see your which place you have finished. After 2 days after the result has come, they will delete all the people's account who have created multiple accounts in Kaggle. Create only one account. If you have more than one account, delete it now. Second point, don't do private sharing. That is, if you are in a team of 4, only share solutions within your team. If you want to share it with others, you have to make it as a public notebook, just like how I have made, or you have to make a public discussion post. You can't share private code. Private code sharing also, Kaggle has several techniques to find out. So please be careful. Don't do all this, because last year there were several people from India who got 6th place, 7th place and all. And they got removed at the last minute. So, you work hard for 2 months and you place in the top 10 and you get removed. How does it look? It doesn't look good, right? All your 2 months hard work has gone waste. So be very careful. Don't get involved with all these illegal things. Personally, someone I know really well got removed like that. That's why I'm like warning you, because she didn't know, like, one of her teammates. See, you may not have done anything wrong. Even one of your teammate does wrong, that's it. The entire team will go. You can't go and tell, I did not do anything, my teammate only did it. How can you remove me and all? You can't ask. The gaggle will day. That's why you are supposed to form teammates with somebody whom you have tested them really out. In the beginning itself, when you form teams, ask them if you have multiple accounts, ask them to delete the account, then join them in the team. If you have not a problem, delete it now. If you have multiple accounts, find out really well all the important things about your team and then form teams, because Kaggle will not accept this explanation. My teammate only did it, I didn't do and all. No such explanations. Even anybody in your team does it, whole team is removed. So be careful. Last year from India, only several people got removed. They came in top 10 and they got removed. So be very careful.
Yeah, ma'am. Thanks for that input. I think there are no more open questions. We can wind up the session. Thank you, Ms. Usha ma'am. This session was really power-packed, a complete info-packed session. You started from registering, how to get registered with Kaggle, then you moved to how to submit, form teams. You have explained about feature importance, data set, data manipulation libraries and imputations, data distribution. It was completely packed. And finally, very importantly, you told about the ethical practices, how students should get involved ethically in taking up this datathon. Thank you so much. We are really fortunate to have your session today. And your notebooks, everything will be utilized by our students and the participants. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would also like to thank our organizing partners, Sri Vishnu Educational Society, and supporting partners Novartis and Vavi. And special thanks to Ms. Sulakshana ma'am for driving this datathon very in an excited manner. And I would sincerely extend my thanks to the participants, the students of our society, and all the data science enthusiasts. And a special thanks to faculty mentors. So students, hope you all get up for the datathon. So get a sign up, and also please join the mailing list to receive the updates then and there. Okay, be creative, have fun. Thank you all. Good luck to you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.
Ma'am, that document you please mail to all participants, ma'am. The one single document which contains all the links.
Yeah.
The you have that, no, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. The first link that you have shared, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can mail that. It has all the documents in a single, all the links in a single document. You can mail it to the students, ma'am, just in case they have not attended the session or they left in off and things like that.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We will share that, ma'am. I will.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Really a wonderful session and very enlightening session for the students. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For the opportunity, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.